And the other thing.
It's like a kit and a caboodle. You can't have just a caboodle. You have to have a kit and a caboodle.
Well, this is true.
Sometimes you can have a kit and a cat.
Yeah, well, and if you get an unassembled caboodle, then it's a caboodle kit.
That's true. Do-it-yourself caboodle.
That's right.
A kit and a caboodle kit.
Mm-hmm.
You could doodle it yourself.
Mm.
Could you doodle a caboodle?
You could. Well, that's what you have to do, when you first came up with the idea of a caboodle. You just doodled it on the back of a napkin. It was a caboodle doodle.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made a kit, caboodle doodle kit.
And then pretty soon you could get it in macaroni and cheese, and that was your caboodle doodle noodle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm sorry, craft dinner.
And if you have a lot of them...
Yes, there's just oodles.
Oodles of caboodle doodle
doodle noodles.
And this is all we do, guys, before the show.
Yeah.
It gets our mouths warmed up.
Now go home and read Fox and Socks out loud.
Yeah. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
No, not that one. Go read Fox and Socks out loud.
No. Just no. Hey, you know what? I thought I had my recorder set to stand by.
Yeah.
No, it was recording. We got 22 minutes of our pre-show.
Oh,
the
nice.
best show we've ever done.
That'll be a patron special.
Yeah. Da da da.
Us talking about everything that the viewers are writing in the Q&A before they can hear us talking about them. Oh, we would never do that. We're just teasing.
Limax says Fox and Socks, very difficult.
It is a very difficult book out road, yeah.
I always talk before the show starts. Exactly. Who said that? I don't.
Limax.
Rylang
Oh.
says, I don't think they want us talking before the show starts.
Talk amongst yourselves.
I'd watch an episode of Bad Cop reading Fox and Socks.
There you go.
I don't know if I could get through it.
We'll read Caching the Northwest meets Dr. Seuss. We'll make that like the 150th episode special, maybe? It's coming up pretty fast, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's like 4 away. Okay, let's actually do a podcast.
Oh, you know what? Why not?
I'm going to kick it off
You mean
with
do
End Your
another one?
Close, and Land Monkey will talk in the middle. All done?
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Well, there it is. You found us. Thank you, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. We're going to talk about caches and caches unique to this little corner of the country. So pull out those old cache logs. It's time to go caching in the Northwest.
Oh, yes, it is. And that means it's also time to bring in our Inspector Monkey. Some say he can spot a bison tube in a cedar tree at 100 meters. And others say it doesn't matter. He won't go find it anyway. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Well, actually, he will go find it. He'll just be really bitter about it. That's all.
And you'll hear about it here.
He can't not find a cache. Oh, dear. All right. Hey, man. It is awesome to be back here again. And listeners and live viewers there in the Q&A and those who aren't live viewing in the Q&A and are listening wherever you are at this point in time, thank you for downloading and listening to the show. Thank you for joining us live. Thank you for not being out munzing while you're live watching the show. And if you are out munzing and you are listening to the show, I forgive you. All right. Hey, so anyways, that's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Tonight, we're going to discuss another hot topic. And this is one that was brought up by listener Mrs. Smee 2 or 3 episodes ago. And the topic is auditing your cache logs.
All right. Well, we're going to have some fun with that. But before we get going, we need to start glowing.
When we call this segment Glow, or the geocaching log of the week, whether it's yours or not, we want to hear about it. So send an email to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call into 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool on the website. Any way you want to get a hold of us, show us how you glow.
That's right. Show how you glow. We would really appreciate that. We love getting the glow logs from you guys. And remember, it doesn't always have to be a found it log that can be a glow. For example, tonight's glow is from listener Limax. It's a DNF log. Limax could not find the unknown or mystery cache, The Machine, a shocking revelation.
Ooh. And
here's the DNF. The nightmares persisted, but the machine kept sending me the same dream night after night. Always, an older gentleman was sitting at a desk and talking on a phone before being electrocuted by some unknown force. It was enough to drive me mad. I woke up screaming so often that I have nearly lost my voice. Today, I decided to head out again and confront this malevolent entity that was disturbing my every waking and sleeping hour. The machine must have gotten into my car because it nearly overheated several times as I was approaching its new hiding spot. I was finally able to find a spot in the shade to let my car cool down. I then started following the trail toward the new hiding spot. A lot of people spotted me on the way and was wondering what I was doing. I don't think it had anything to do with my tinfoil hat or the foil around my GPSR.
He continues, I was just about to approach its hiding spot when I heard the whistle of a train. I blinked and looked around. I saw tracks rise before me out of the ground, and the next thing I knew, a steam train came hurtling down the tracks toward me. I cried out and stumbled backward and fell right into a mud puddle. I picked the wrong day to wear white. I knew the machine didn't want me finding the next clue, but I patiently waited until the train went by. Soon enough, I saw the caboose and saw the tracks sink back into the ground again. I made my way over to the hiding spot, only to be confronted by something out of the past. Thankfully, I knew how to operate it, and soon enough the machine was telling me I was too slow. I can't help but think that the train had something to do with that. I was just about to leave and run crying back to my car when I was contacted by someone new and told me where I needed to go.
Armed with this new information, I headed to the spot he indicated, and I started searching. I think the machine took over the floor in the spot, because it kept on trying to attack me and put a probe up my nose. Valiantly, I fought it off and continued the search. As light started to dim, my hopes began to dim as well. I finally had to abandon my search. As I hiked dejectedly back to my car, I could hear the machine laughing malevolently at me. As I started the car, after putting more coolant in it, the machine had one more trick up its sleeve. It conspired to put many obstacles in my way as I tried to make my way home. I wish that it would pick on someone else. Very well written log, and that's the DNF. If I'm not mistaken, there's 4 parts to this machine entry. Coming up, we'll post the found it log. We'll read the found it log.
Yeah, so, we won't post it until we find the cache. Yeah. And speaking of tonight's topic,
exactly. The machine is disabled or archived, so we could post a found it log on there. What would anybody care?
Just don't post it needs archived.
I was going to say we could post an online needs archived party. As if somebody would actually do that.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, thanks for that awesome glow. That was fun to hear about people oot and about geocaching. And speaking of geocaching, did you guys do any this week, Mr. Monkey?
Yeah, actually, we did. I know it's a surprise. What is this geocaching you speak of? Anyways, it was Mother's Day, as we all know, and Mrs. Land Monkey being an avid geocacher as well makes all that kind of stuff much easier for us land monkeys than it might be for others. But again, as I said, it was Mother's Day, and so we took the opportunity to be on Vancouver Island and spend time with my mom and, of course, my dad. And much to our surprise, my parents said, "Yeah, you know what? Let's go geocaching." So the four of us
What
headed
kind
out.
of life are you leading that you
know.
get these opportunities?
The brainwashing is complete.
I'm living the dream, baby. I'm living the dream. All right. But no, so we headed out to Port Alberni and surrounding areas, did some exploring. It wasn't, heavy, like, got to grab every cache. We let a few go by just so that we could enjoy the time out with Mom and Dad. Had a fantastic time, saw some new areas, got some awesome donuts, and did some geocaching, including I found a earth cache. There's an earth cache in the town of Port Alberni, which was a lot of fun. What else? Oh, on our way to Parksville, we stopped in a little town called Chemainus. Anybody who's familiar with Vancouver Island would know that is the town of murals. And there's a Where I Go in that town, and it was fantastic. We really enjoyed it. It was just awesome. So yeah, great Mother's Day weekend on Vancouver Island geocaching.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's enough with you, Land Monkey.
Okay.
We have some breaking news from Rock Chalk and Skookum Bear.
Ooh.
In June, that's next month, folks.
It is.
Geocaching HQ is joining with organizations across the U.S. in celebrating Get Outdoors Month.
Not in Canada?
Nope.
Oh, no. Do you hear the bitterness in Land Monkey's voice?
I can feel it seeping down from the north.
It's all good.
They're joining with organizations like National Marina Day, National Trails Day, the Great American Campout, National Fishing and Boating Week, and Kids to Parks Day. All of these things are happening in the month of June. Now, here's how you do it. Earn the Get Outdoors souvenir by finding any geocache in the U.S. on Saturday, June 11th. You hear that? Any geocache on Saturday, June 11th. You can celebrate the National Park Service 2nd century by exploring the Find Your Park GeoTour. At least 30 parks have registered a total of more than 60 traditional geocaches and earth caches for this GeoTour. And the list will continue to grow through 2016 as more parks are currently developing geocaching programs.
Nice.
So, share your Get Outdoor Month experiences on social media using hashtag geocaching and hashtag Get Outdoors.
Very nice.
And we'll announce this news to the general public in a few days. This is geocaching.com speaking. Premium members are getting the details today. We got them.
All right.
But feel free to share the information with your audience. Hey, that's you, people.
That's right.
At your convenience. You can always learn more on the geocaching blog.
Well, that's really exciting. And even though it's the U.S. thing, did you notice that there's National Marina Day? And I know a Canadian named Marina.
She has a whole day named to
I
herself.
won't say who that is, but
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I missed that. That was great. Yeah.
That is good. I love that. Hey, you know what? While some who know me well may think, a U.S.-only souvenir? Uh-oh, that'll set off the monkey. In fact, I actually applaud this test from geocaching.com in the hopes that it will launch a series of forthcoming souvenirs respective to specific nations and their national celebrations of the outdoors.
I'm shocked, Mr. Monkey.
What's that?
Well, I didn't want to say shock the monkey, but yeah. You shocked me that you
Don't
say
you
this
know
is
you wanna?
okay.
No, you don't want to.
Why is this okay?
Why is this okay? Well, because once the blog post is made public, those who read it will find out a little bit more information that we will share here. Again, guys, if you're listening to the show live, you are getting the scoop. You are hearing this first on Caching in the Northwest. That's right, baby. All right, well, if one reads the blog, you will see in their FAQs that they state they have the question posed, I don't live in the U.S. Why can't I earn the Get Outdoors Day souvenir?
Did you post that question?
No, it was written for me.
Okay.
Rock Chuck said he was just doing one of these, going, all right, let's head this one off at the pass, guys.
What's Lane going to say this time?
So, hey, I'll tell you their answer, and I love this answer. I'm not being sarcastic. I actually really support this. The Get Outdoors Day souvenir is part of an initiative with the American Recreation Coalition and other U.S.-based outdoor organizations to get more Americans outside. Hey, I think more Americans need to get outside.
Oh,
this is our
guaranteed.
This is
okay. I'll go outside.
Yeah, bye.
Us fat, flabby Americans. I'm going outside now.
This is our first step in testing one-off country or region-specific souvenirs, something we hope to expand on in the near future. So they go on to say he's gone.
He really hasn't come back yet. No, but keep reading.
That's hilarious. They go on to say, do you know of any geocaching traditions in your country that happen at a specific time each year? Please let us know by, and there's a hyperlink, submitting this form. So everybody listen up. I strongly encourage, nay, demand every Canadian geocacher listening to this podcast submit a request via this form once that blog post is live to have a souvenir created for Canadians only, obtained by attending an event or logging a cache on July 1st. Well, because that's Canada Day. And what better way to celebrate our amazing nation than to take your family on an outdoor adventure in this unbelievable wilderness that we call home. Oh, Canada.
Hey, I was just outside. It's really cool out there.
Well done.
Did you find a geocache?
Go get your souvenir.
Okay, go get your souvenir.
Let's see.
You're outside in the U.S. Good for you.
See, I've got a Mount Vernon Parks and Recreation geocoin.
There you go.
Is that cool?
That is cool, actually.
Yeah. We might hear about that in an upcoming episode one of these days. Who knows?
We definitely will.
Yeah.
Very
All right.
soon.
So yeah,
there you
it's cool. Get outdoors, and yes, you Canadians, campaign for your own day, please. I encourage that as well. You know what else is happening in other news?
No, tell us. What else is happening in other news?
I read about this outside. No, I didn't really. Fellow podcaster and friend of the show, G-Slink, shared a news article with us from the Cornwall Seaway News. And it reads, for the next 2 years, the St. Lawrence River Institute of Environmental Sciences will be working in national wildlife areas across Canada to implement geocaching, in parentheses, high-tech treasure hunting, in case you didn't know, and educational activities. So I read that to mean that geocaching is not an educational activity. The way that statement is
Well, it didn't say or.
It does it, yeah. Okay.
It should say and other educational activities.
Okay, there you go. The Connecting Canadians to Nature project will utilize geocaching to educate and inform the public about the efforts made to protect and conserve Canada's ecological heritage via the Canadian Wildlife Service's network of protected areas. Geocaching routes will encourage visitors to explore 8 national wildlife areas, including a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not sure I can read right. Let's try it. Alaxon and Vasu Bighorn in British Columbia, Last Mountain Lake in Saskatchewan, Big Creek and Prince Edward Point in Ontario, Cape Joramain and Chipody in New Brunswick, and Chignecto in Nova Scotia. For more information, visit riverinstitute.ca.
That was really well done.
For
Really
an
well
American,
done.
it wasn't bad, huh?
That was highly impressive.
And there's
Wow.
probably another one up north, but I think it's on fire.
Yeah. Well, and again, all kidding aside,
Yeah.
certainly continue to our prayers go out, and we actually had a fundraiser at our work
Oh, good. Yeah.
where we were able to have a potluck, and everybody bring some cash, and actually put together a fair bit of money at the office that we're sending to the Red Cross in support of. So
I'm amazed at how big that. And they say it may burn for months.
it's insane.
It's unbelievable.
The last I heard is it's now bigger than Toronto, which is insane.
Mm-hmm. Last I heard, it was and putting this in U.S. standards. I apologize. It was bigger than the state of New Jersey. So, yeah. So it's huge, and I apologize that I laughed. It took me aback, and I thought it was somewhat humorous, but this is not a humorous subject.
No.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the thousands of people who have been forced to evacuate. Actually, they've been forced to evacuate a couple of times as the fire spreads and are unable to control it. So, guys, we're with you. So thank you, G-Slink, who apparently he heard donuts mentioned in the previous story.
I think they're outside.
Oh, are there donuts outside?
No, I was out there and I didn't see any.
Okay.
I'll go check again.
Okay. Bye.
So while he's checking for donuts.
So in more news, so there is no more news. That's it. We're done.
Bye.
There is no more news yet about challenge caches.
Oh.
But our challenging topic for tonight, you see that, was raised in a previous show by listener Mrs. Smee, and local geocache hider, I might add, asked an ethical gameplay question about auditing logs against the signed logs, and what steps people take if they note arm-chairing. I didn't know arm-chairing was a verb.
It is.
It is. Or other discrepancies.
Indeed, she did say that. And we promised we'd bring that up in a future show. And you know what? It's later, Bert. Because we always keep our promises to our listeners. Sometimes it does take a little while for that to happen. Tonight, we discuss that very topic. And there's no donuts outside, I looked.
All
You
right.
can go far enough. If you go far enough, there are always donuts.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, on the topic of no donuts, I reached out on social media in the past couple of weeks just to see what geocachers had to say on this very topic. And I was fortunate enough that I got plugged in with the host of the hashtag US Geocaching Hour and was able to put this question into the hashtag US Geocaching Hour last week. I think it was last Monday. And the question was, who does audits on their cache logs? So in the no column, we heard from Morton Fox, yes, the thumbs down, who said, I haven't been auditing the logs. The cache eventually gets lost anyway.
I put my caches in a highly muggle-intensive area. They only last for a week and a half.
Diane Icemom of @TeamDaveGeo said, I check on it, maintain it, but an audit? Sounds like correcting papers. Yuck.
Sounds like she's a teacher.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking possibly, yes.
Thinking so.
T Smola01, Travis Smola said on Twitter, I have 163 active hides. I don't have time for that. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of caches.
That sounds like Gary Slinkard from the Cache and Release podcast, who has so many cache hides that he just admits he can't go out and maintain them all, and puts in the descriptions, please, maintain my caches for me.
All right. And I'll add my own to the no. I didn't answer your social media, but I don't audit my cache logs, mostly because, well, the 2 active cache hides that I have are kind of lame caches, and I don't really care if anybody armchair finds them or not. So there you go. That's out there on the podcast now, so if I start seeing an influx of logs, I may change my mind and go start auditing.
Everybody figure out which caches they are.
And that is GC. No, you cannot do that.
Just don't log a needs archived on them.
No, please don't. Save that for Land Monkeys, because he's the one that invited that once upon a time.
We got a Q&A from Brylang, who says, naughty cacher, you should be able to maintain your own caches. Or maybe you should archive it. Just do it on air.
There you go.
And have
yes,
archive party.
Don't archive on the air. I do maintain, I just don't audit. Maybe he's talking about the 163 from T-Smola01. But enough of the negatives, no, I don't audit. Let's swing over to the positive side. And do the eyes have it? Land Monkey also heard from Mark Webb, @MarkWebb52, who says, if the log is still intact, I will cross-reference the log to the online log, checking name and date. That sounds like an audit to me. Another user at P. Kohlmeyer says, I try to. It depends on if I suspect armchair logging or a bad log. So maybe not just auditing everything, but with cause.
Bad log, like your pen ran out of ink or you signed somebody else's name?
Or the tree that falls across the road, that's a bad log.
Bad log, yeah.
Yeah. Jamie at Stardust says, I don't like couch loggers. I hope people do delete those. No need to cheat. No prize involved. Hashtag US Geocaching Hour. And Moan a lot at Mark Pickard says, very occasionally on our D5. And I think that goes with what I was saying, is that mine are like 1-1 caches. It's like, whatever. But if it was some significant cache hide, yeah, I'd audit that more frequently. Kind of like my challenge.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. G-Slink says, I like how Bad Cop makes stuff up, but then again, he is the bad cop.
He is. That's true.
Yeah, I do just make stuff up.
Why are you being accused of making stuff up? What did I miss?
That he has too many caches to maintain.
Oh.
Let's.
I believed you. It was just you sold that.
Yeah, I thought that was legit.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, cache log auditing. It depends. Now, I definitely agree with Monalot. He says very occasionally on our D5.
Yeah.
On a tough cache, yeah, you really need to go out there. However, like Wits End said, if it's a 1-1,
it can be a lot of work.
Yeah.
And yeah, so chiming in my opinion on it, for me the answer is generally no. I would be in the no column of not auditing logs. I figure if someone wants to rob themselves of the experience, so be it. Perhaps someone, on the flip side of that, perhaps someone simply forgot to sign the sheet. Or maybe they've accidentally logged a cache online that they didn't actually find. Believe it or not, that happens. It happened to us once. We were in a big group hike and we did this weird shaped loop, and Mrs. Land Monkey thought we were going to one cache at one point in time, handed me the GPSR, accidentally acknowledged it. So by the time we dumped the GPSR with like 30 finds on a hike in the day, it slipped in there.
Yeah.
One of our friends pointed out to us, hey, we never found that cache. I'm like, oh, crap. So we went and deleted the log. But, it wasn't malevolent. We weren't trying to sneak numbers. In fact, I really don't like logging things I haven't found. But, exactly. I think, I think it happens. So I think we should, always try and give the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of it, when it comes to auditing logs, I just can't be bothered to spend the time. I do have a few other things going on, and whether or not someone may have cheated in geocaching, personally, it's just not important enough for me to do anything about. Like I said at the top, if someone wants to cheat themselves of the experience, that's their choice.
Yeah, and that's just it. They're the ones missing out on, it's the fun of the find that's the hobby to me.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, and
me too.
Live audience.
Oh.
What do you do with your logs of your caches? If you go change a log, what do you do with it?
It's in my desk drawer downstairs with 4 dead cell phones. You know exactly the drawer I'm speaking of.
Yeah, I do.
And a Palm Pilot.
Never mind, same thing.
There you go. For me,
but you do keep them.
I have kept them in the past. I think it depends what condition it is. I still have the first log from my first filled log from my first cache I ever placed. It is a bit of a novelty to have that. Subsequent caches,
right on the wall behind you.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
There's a little room there in that wall.
There you go. Just a little bit of space. Other than that, really, I don't know. It's, again, I know that I can find something more interesting by reading what people write online, as long as they're writing glows. So I would much rather be able to go, even if the cache gets archived, still be able to go back and read through that, as opposed to having the piece of paper with a bunch of names and dates on it.
And big rubber stamps that take up 4 lines.
Sure, and
What are you
that.
trying to say there?
Nothing?
And our next show topic.
Ooh,
Now-
ooh, stickers.
Stickers.
Yes, I did do that one.
Troublemaker.
There's a story there.
There's a story there. Now, I'm not going to make anything up, but G-Slink says, he says, old logs get laminated, then I take them to local events.
Nice.
So what if you take those laminated logs, put a travel bug on them, and send them out and about? Would that be
Oh.
interesting?
Could be. You may never see it again, but it
You're
could
not
be.
seeing them anyway.
There you go. That's a different idea.
Yeah.
I would suppose, especially if there is something significant about the cache that the logs are from, it would be kind of cool to be able to take the laminated log sheets and share them. It's kind of like a piece of local geocaching history then.
Mm-hmm. Limac says he doesn't do armchair finds. He does armchair hides.
Ooh, I like it.
Could you do that? You could do that with an Earth cache.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Or a virtual. Well, you can't do virtuals anymore. Well, not on geocaching.com.
Okay, there's one here. We want to know what you do with the old logs. Yeah, Limax gets his bronzed.
Nice.
I can see there's this little roll of bronze paper in his office there.
Yeah.
Nanos that he's hidden.
It's inside his baby
funny.
shoes.
That's cute.
IHAM says, I have one puzzle cache that I'd be tempted to audit, but not any others.
So there you go, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
probably because it's one that's not found as often, or one that you know there's enough of a trick to that you'd be curious whether people are actually going out and finding it. And I think that's reasonable. That's fair if you've put the work into it. But again, it really is, it's a personal choice. If you want to make sure people are playing the game that way, and again, I'll go back. I think we've made a good point tonight on this, in that it's just a game.
Yeah.
But like many other things in life, it's a two-way street, and at the end, it always comes down to communication and a little bit of empathy. So, don't give someone a reason to get upset at you if they're concerned about logging etiquette and accuracy, and give people the benefit of the doubt if they've logged a cache that perhaps they shouldn't have logged. They haven't actually found it.
I know I've done that. Going on cache machines. We're going to go out and get all these, and it's like, wait, did we get that one or not? I don't remember, and or it was the other way around. I logged it and was like, oh no, you didn't find it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it happens.
Limax says, one of the caches I found on a trip to Massachusetts had a log where we are encouraged to write an ongoing story. I hope the CEO audits that one. Now, there was a cache around here. I believe it was called One Word at a Time. So in the log, you were to write the next word of the story.
Oh.
And so that, it wasn't very coherent, but it was an interesting one. I went ahead and read the entire log on there just to catch that story. So
Nice.
Sure, and that's a great idea, and I think for things like that, either the one Limax was talking about or what you're talking about, Bad Cop, I think, call it auditing, whatever you want. That's fantastic. I think caches like that, definitely the logs should probably get preserved the way G-Slink was talking about afterwards, because it would be kind of neat. There's quite a novelty to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Early
Maybe
on
not
in my
bronzing.
caching days, there was a cache I found in Idaho that had, I think it was a whole box of crayons in there. And they asked you to be creative on a cache page, draw a picture, or write a story, whatever. And it was kind of fun to see what people had taken the time to sit. And it was a nice hike down there. And so, whether it's audited or not, I hope that logbook was preserved and enjoyed by many people someday.
There you go.
IHAM says it's easier to audit logs on write in the rain paper.
Mm-hmm. I want you to know that I armchair audit.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Audit
dear.
other people's caches.
Yeah.
Limax says I accidentally logged an archived cache in Louisiana, where I'd never been. I wrote the GC number wrong. Worked with Groundspeak to get the souvenir removed.
No,
Well,
There
that was
you
very
go.
nice.
how honorable, yeah.
It is, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's somebody recognized, oh, crap, I did this by accident, and then not only made the effort to clean it up, but Limax went the extra mile and made sure that everything is above board. So good for him.
So
kinda
you
like the-
log a cache in a state, you get the souvenir, but if you delete the log, you still keep the souvenir.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I assume, if you've archived, if the cache gets archived, you still have the find in the state.
Exactly.
When we first started Munzieing, I found myself in Kentucky, and I scanned the Munzie only to realize that the bad cop had borrowed my phone and was logged into the Munzie app. So now he had a find in Kentucky, and he'd never been there.
That's funny.
I have been to Kentucky.
Yes, but not on that. You hadn't found that Munzie.
That was well before Munzie was even conceived.
So I don't think we went back and removed that. We just left him with that Kentucky hide, find, Munzie, scan, capture, whatever you call it.
Scam. The
Scam.
Munzie scam.
Scam. Okay.
The Munzie, the Munzie Ponzi.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh. Time for
For
some
just a
Munzie
small
Funzie.
fee, I'll scan all your Munzies for you.
For a small fee, I'll armchair audit your log.
I think I mentioned last time we talked about this, that I was approached as a cache owner in the area that a bunch of cachers suspected that this person was not actually finding the logs or finding the caches. So
Yeah.
would you go through your electronic logs and your physical logs and see if this person is signed and go ahead and delete them? It's like, well, so the community was policing itself.
As it should.
Well, it's better. Yeah, it's better than escalating things up to geocaching.com and getting them involved if you don't need to.
Apparently that happens quite often. So, well, there you have it. Folks in the chat room, loyal listeners, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a topic that we felt needed some more exposition on its own show, and, well, there you have it. If you don't agree with us, or if you agree so strongly, you need to send us an email. Send that email to feedback@cachingnw.com. Sorry, I saw flashy things over here and I got distracted. Send that email to feedback@cachingnw.com and tell us what you think.
Shiny.
Shiny, three Ham's fault.
That's it, yeah.
He said currently there's a T1.5 D5 in Aldergrove. It's an ammo can holding a large sketchbook and a mirror. Logging requirement is to draw a portrait of yourself. It's called Leonardo's Log, the Renaissance selfie stop. GC 5
Papa November 6 Tango.
November 6 Tango.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting there. I recognize some of the sketches. Wow, that's impressive if you can recognize some of the sketches. I mean, I'm sure there's stick people in there because that's what I would have drawn.
I know this stick person.
But there are people with good skills.
There are,
So-
and that's a cool cache
So
idea.
how
as well.
was outside? Oh, you didn't go outside.
He's auditing a log.
No. I'm just showing this for your benefit there.
Hold on. Oh, I can't. There it is. Are you
There you
seeing that? There. That's
Oops.
what I've got up on screen there.
Ah,
All right.
okay. And the audio podcast listeners are really enjoying that screen.
Yes. Well,
It got really quiet.
We got to get the phonetic alphabet out.
Yes,
that was
that's right.
called-
Wits End was holding up a chart of the phonetic alphabet.
Yeah.
I was called to task on my lack of knowing the phonetic alphabet.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, I went out to breakfast with IHAM one morning, and he said, yeah, you missed less this week. I heard stories. I came to work, and the bad cop said, don't listen to last night's broadcast.
It wasn't that bad. We were having fun.
What I was amazed is how quickly Limax could come back with the words. And I'm thinking, okay, N, that is...
November.
Yeah, I know. But he would end up typing it by the time... November. Okay, November 10th. Anyway.
All right, so I think we've kind of beat this one to death for tonight. I think we took the great suggestion from Mrs. Smee. Thank you very much. We've worked through some feedback we've had in the live Q&A. Thank you guys very much for that. And we've taken the feedback we got off of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you our opinions, which of course are always as volatile and offensive as ever.
Correct. As ever.
And as correct as ever.
And
that's
correct.
right. And so, yeah, some thoughts there. But again, as a bad cop said, if you guys have other thoughts on this topic, and in fact, if you have other topics or ideas of topics for shows, why don't you write us?
Mm-hmm.
We would love to hear from you at feedback@cachingnw.com. That would be
It's
fun.
so easy to say without things popping up around you.
It is. It really is.
Yes, we love the feedback we get at feedback@cachingnw.com or 253-693-TFTC, or right here in the live Q&A, or you can contact any of us on the interwebs at various locations and methods. So if somebody were to do that, where, let's start with LandMonkey. Where would they go to find you and send you feedback, questions, comments, or other digital communications?
Well, most of the time, the most active place is going to be Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. We are at LandMonkeyGC on Facebook. You can contact us there, Team LandMonkey. Of course, on YouTube, and Geocaching Tuesdays are back on YouTube with the Land Monkeys. And just search Land Monkey on YouTube. And our blog doesn't get as much activity on there as maybe some of the other social media areas, but we do try and get something on there once in a while, and that is landmonkey.blogspot.ca.
Oh,
Wits
that's
End.
quality over quantity, though, you know.
There you go. Wits End, how about you?
You can find me at Wits End on most social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, all those kind of things, even geocaching.com. But you can start off at witsend.us for a very, very rarely updated blog with links to all the rest of that stuff. Mr. Cop, comma the bad, you, sir?
When you say very rarely, what do you really mean?
Like don't hold your breath.
Once every 6 months?
Something like that.
Okay.
Fortnightly.
Fortnightly. Isn't that a great term that nobody uses much anymore? You can find me on Twitter, CachingNW. You can find me on Facebook at CachingNW. You can find me on Google Plus at google.com/plus. CachingNW. I just like saying this combination of letters.
All right. Well, and for the rest of you guys out there in the universe of Caching NW, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode, this here very episode of Caching in the Northwest. Hey, did you know you can be part of this show? Give us a phone call, 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment. Ask us a question. Mail us a pie. Audit those logs. Audit my logs. Anytime, day or night. And of course, you can email feedback@cachingnw.com. Nothing's blinking in my face. And your support, by the way, it helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click the PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. This here very show is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2016 by Chris Oakfenauer. Peace out.
Good night, folks. Okay.
Okay, I got the giggles there at the end for some reason.
Three
It's
hams are
really
not
hard to
helping.
read that when you have the giggles.
Oh, things popping up on the screen distracting? I just thought the bad cop had a squirrel running past.
That's right.
Squirrel?
Nice one, Doug.
Tied down.
I'm
And
Doug.
Brylan goes, squirrel!
Mhm.
There you go.
That
Hey.
that was a fun show.
What is this part of the show now?
The after show.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's terrible.
Die Monkey says, Wits End is almost outside already when he's in his studio.
That's true. She's been in the studio here and seen it live and in person. And if you'd like to see it live and in person, well,
Bring
donate
pie.
a large amount of money to cachingnw.com.
For, well, quite a large fee, you can.
For just $1 a day, you can help a starving podcaster continue his Thursday night habit.
Look at us. Are any of us starving?
Yeah, clearly I have not skipped many meals, okay?
Oh, that's funny.
Three Hams loves the Where I Goes.
Oh yeah.
Or
Hey,
in this
so
case, where Land Monkey goes.
I need to do one someday.
the one in Chemainus is fantastic. Now, so I alluded. Well, I didn't allude. I said that Chemainus is the town of murals. So it's an old logging and mining town that the industries were going belly up, and so the people in the town decided, oh, we got to do something. What are we going to do? We're just going to pack up and leave, or what? Somebody came up with the idea of, hey, let's paint murals on the walls of the buildings and make our town into a tourist attraction, and it worked. And they're amazing. Like, I had never been to Chemainus before to actually take a look at these murals. Some of them are absolutely stunning. It's really, really neat. And interestingly enough, the Where I Go does not take you per se to the murals. It takes you to other pieces of outdoor art that draw you past the murals. So it's really well done. Really enjoyed it. And a good hide at the end. It was a great location that it takes you to at the end. So just a really, really well done Where I Go. Quite enjoyed that.
I've not heard of Chemainus.
Yeah, it's a very small town, south of Nanaimo on Vancouver Island.
Okay.
Closer to Duncan, just north of
Didn't
Duncan.
Laverne and Shirley sing, Chemainus, Shemazo, Hassenpfeff Incorporated?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Limax is not happy with Wits End right now. Because
Just
Wits
now?
End is taking away one of his jobs.
Armchair auditing?
No,
No?
knowing the phonetic alphabet. And
Correcting the monkey and the cop on the phonetic alphabet.
Limax says, well, at least I have it memorized.
There you go. Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Foxtrot Golf? That one?
That's the one.
Okay. Is it different in Canada?
Just the accent.
Okay.
The words are the
Limax
same.
says he goes out of his way to find Where I Goes. And he cannot remember what country he lives in. However, some reason he went out in the rain.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Left the cake out in the rain.
since many Western Canadians live pretty proximate to the 49th parallel, I have a feeling a lot of Canadians will be earning that souvenir in June.
Land Monkey, was
Yes, sir.
the cache of that Where I Go in a Tim Hortons? G-Sync wants to know.
It was not in a Tim Hortons.
No, but I bet it was within 100 yards or 100 meters of it.
You know what?
It's a
I don't think
landmark
there
in
is a Tim Hortons in Chemainus. I don't know. I better look that up.
Whoa, wait.
There's
This
a
is
Canadian
in
city
Canada?
without a Tim Hortons?
I'm gonna look this up. That can't be right, but I don't remember seeing one when I was in the town.
Yes, Limax, I am missing a lower third today. The Googles hate me. I couldn't get the lower third to work on Geo Gearheads or this one tonight. So
Terrible.
the
That's
Googles
terrible.
hate me. It's a scheme. You know what I should do is I should have a printed one that I just hold up in case something doesn't work.
My
With a
computer
cutout
hates me
for your
tonight.
head.
My computer hates me tonight. I booted up and got a fatal hard drive error. So yeah, it will not boot my my Ubuntu installation. I'm tonight podcasting under Windows.
Bum, bum, bum.
I
Wow.
wonder if there's a business for a hat that also contains a frame that is customizable for whatever video presentation you're doing. You know,
I see
we
what
could
you're saying.
have our lower third framed hats.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Sure.
Until you turn your head and knock things over.
Okay, check out my screen share here if you can see this.
Oh heavens, the Murgatroyd.
Can you read that?
And Brylang confirms it.
I can't quite read it, but I can understand what it's
It's
saying there.
it's the search, the restaurant search for Tim Hortons off their website in Chemainus, BC, Canada. It says there are no restaurants located within the defined radius of this location. Please expand your radius or search another location. There are no Timmys in Chemainus.
You need to choose fewer amenities.
Yes.
I chose no amenities.
The bad cop and I were out on I think it was a cash machine actually, and we got up way too early and we're oot and a boot, and I wanted a Starbucks, so I pulled out my cell phone and pulled up the Starbucks app and hit the locating pane, and you know, it gives you all the little push pins on the map of where the nearest Starbucks locations are. And you can filter by amenities, you know, whether they have a drive-through and whether they have food or whatever. So I just selected currently open. That was the only option I selected because, well, I wanted coffee.
That's probably the most important one.
Yeah, pretty much. And it came back and said, sorry, no locations matched your search criteria. Please choose fewer amenities. Open.
Fewer than open.
Oh, that's funny. So, expanding my search radius, the closest Tim Hortons to Chemainus is in Ladysmith.
Dora Moore agrees with you.
Wow.
Oh, it was okay. There you go. I wasn't watching the Q&A. I was busy working on my Tim Hortons website here.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo?
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
I'm missing something here.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo. It's
You're missing
South African singing group.
Singing group, yeah. You're missing Tim Hortons because there aren't any in Tacoma either.
Oh yeah. Three-Ham said there didn't used to be any Tim Hortons in downtown Vancouver, but 100 Starbucks. Timmy's is more of an East Coast institution.
It is, but it has definitely been populating out here like bunnies.
Well, you know, in the short visit up there for the summertime winter games or wintertime summer games, I really enjoyed the ice cap addiction I've created, but developed.
That was good for the winter games. An ice cap.
Yeah.
Can you have an ice cap at night? That would be a night ice cap.
Mm-hmm.
Or an ice nightcap.
Yeah. G-Slink also had lower turd issues.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's trying to get a hashtag going for it.
You can get a hashtag going for anything.
Just about.
You can. It just depends upon how common an issue it is.
Every time my sister comes up she lives in Southern California, when she comes up to visit or if we take a trip together somewhere, she posts photos of that, you know, visit on Instagram, and she creates a hashtag for each visit or each trip or get together that we do. So
that's fun. I mean, the original purpose of it, it's a good way for those within your circles. So, you know, if she tells the rest of the family, here's the hashtag to search for, they can quickly get through all social media and find them. So, yeah, it's a good idea.
Brylang says, you know, Land Monkey, you can go to Tim Hortons much faster if you go straight to Google Maps.
I can find Tim Hortons much faster.
Tim Hortons much faster if you go straight to Google Maps.
I can go to Tim Hortons much faster if I get outside and get in my car.
No, travel
outside.
By map. It's the fastest way.
There are no donuts outside. I looked.
Oh.
Unless you go outside and then inside of Tim Hortons.
There you go.
Well,
Or unless somebody leaves some outside.
walk through a drive-through, you're still outside. You could get a donut.
You're inside your
You're not
car.
allowed to walk through drive-thrus.
I know. I've tried it.
Why do they care?
I don't know, but we were at in high school. We had a flat tire in the car and could not drive any further. And while we were waiting for the tow truck, we thought, let's go walk over there to this fast food establishment. I don't remember which one it was. And it was late at night, and the dining room was locked. And so we went to the drive, and they wouldn't serve us at the drive-up window because we didn't have a car. Like, the car's over there with a flat tire. We'd like to walk up and order some food. No, they wouldn't serve us.
It's probably a safety/liability thing.
Yeah, we might be endangered by the vehicles that were,
Not there.
not within 10 miles of us, but oh well.
Sometimes the rules are the rules, right?
IHAM says it's the, in all caps, international phonetic alphabet.
That's
so
right.
it had better be the same in Canada, eh?
Well, yeah, but
It is.
they do things different up there.
Well, like I said, it's the same words. We just say them differently.
That's right.
We say them correctly.
Yeah, they say Alpha A, Bravo A, Charlie A.
That's just silly. We don't talk like that here. That's nuts, eh? Yeah, hoser.
Three
Take
Hams was from Canada, eh? Says reading Tom Clancy novels in my youth was enough to cement the phonetic alphabet in my brain.
Oh,
So
that's
yes,
funny.
this is the international phonetic alphabet, and this is the Australian phonetic alphabet.
Nice.
Oh, I get it.
Well, we haven't brought up Australia on the podcast since I first
Yeah.
joined the podcast.
They do everything different down there.
It's like
If you'd like to
100
send
episodes.
Wits in to Australia for research,
he'll leave right now. He'd just walk off the podcast.
That's right. Donate to the Wits End in Australia Fund.
Man, I can't believe we're almost at 150 episodes. Before you know it, we'll be at 200. We'll need to make another path tag.
Telling you.
Path tag.
Ooh,
Path tag.
ooh, hashtag path tag.
Ooh. Hashtag path. Ooh. Hashtag cash tags.
Hmm.
I was honored when the Washington State Parks retweeted my cash tags.
Nice.
Very nice. That's cool.
By the way, cash tags are a feature of Caching in the Northwest. Geocaching lingo for beginners or people who just want to read a picture.
Yeah, so yeah, if you see the cache tags, retweet, repost, share them out.
Because, well, why not?
It's a good way to educate the muggles.
Gippers.
Why, Limax says that's a nice looking path tag. Thank you, Limax. It's funny. We've completely run out of these, but I still get posts from the path tag website saying that somebody's posted a comment.
Nice.
That's cool. So people
Every
are still
now and
finding
again,
them
it's
somewhere.
like, oh, look, somebody. G-Slink
awesome.
says hashtag wits end to AsFund.
Hmm.
Or is it TOAS?
Oh, he probably meant Oz,
To Oz. Yeah.
as in Australia.
Yeah,
Mate.
that would just look like twos.
Twos.
That would be confusing.
I want one twos.
Maybe he wants to send me to Arizona. I don't know.
It's almost like Australia.
It is south of here.
So I saw Australia overlaid on the U.S. and they're nearly the same size. The land masses.
I'm not surprised.
It's freaking huge.
And a lot less populated.
Yeah. Especially in the interior.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. How can we mangle G-Slink's latest one?
Oh, we are professional manglers. We can mangle almost anything.
Weidsend to Ausfund.
It's a German word.
Ausfund. Yeah.
Ausfund, yeah?
Yeah, Ausfund.
Oh, 3 hams. Really? Will number 200 be done using pantless puppets?
Hmm.
Hey, this is a
Of
family
course
show,
it will
folks.
be. They're all pantless.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get your hand up there with pants. I'm talking about puppets.
Thank you.
That really did not come out well. It sounded much better in my head.
Scary thought.
That's
Okay,
going
here.
to be on the internet for like ever, right?
Hey, it's Wits End. And Wits End.
Hey, I'm right back here.
There's the bad cop and the bad cop.
By the
My
way,
monkey's upstairs.
the future is now. I
Mm.
can't move my
The future is no W.
no W.
There's no
No
W
W.
in the future.
So you'll be Its End?
Ooh.
By
Could
the
be.
way, Wits End, you have
Yes.
rhythm. You have soul.
Okay.
G-Slink says so.
Well,
I make
I
things
tend to
up.
believe him. Yeah, I tend to believe him.
All right. Well, we just about, it's 10 p.m. We done with the after show?
Let's turn the lights down because that's when Limax concentrates on the screen.
Sure.
All right. Well, maybe he should go watch something now.
Folks, thanks again. 10 o'clock, it's time for us to turn into pumpkins.
Yeah. You
Until
know.
next week, and the cache is founded. Until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.
That's
There
right.
you go. Safely and